So this is DJI's Osmo Action 5 Pro, and I've had about 3 weeks to test this camera now. And if I've learned anything, it's that this camera is not for me. And that's mainly because of 4 reasons that to me make this camera almost unusable. So in this video, I will show you exactly what these 4 problems are and also tell you why you shouldn't buy one of these. At least not right now, but more on that later. But now let's talk about the first problem. So I just came back from a 2-week trip to China where I visited Shanghai, Chongqing, Shenzhen and Hong Kong. It was an amazing trip that gave me lots of opportunities to actually go out and test the Osmo Action 5 Pro. In fact, I bought this camera for this very purpose, to vlog and document our entire trip. And I really thought that was a good decision. And one of the main reasons that I bought this camera is that early reviewers said that it was really good in low light. So you can imagine my surprise when I found out that it really wasn't. So the footage that you see right now is taken on the original settings, right? I didn't do anything to this camera because I really wanted to test it in the way that every person does. No major adjustment, nothing, just press record. And that's what you see here. Do you think this footage looks good? I certainly don't. I think it is unusable and I would never use it in a YouTube video unless it's for reviewing this thing. In bright daylight, this thing is really good. Obviously, it's not a Sony ZV-E1, right? But it is good enough, especially for vlogging. But the second you leave inside or the sun goes away or you record in the morning or evening, the footage is unusable. So if you ask me, this is not a great vlogging camera unless maybe you are the type of vlogger that just records during the brightest of days. But even then, I would say the next 3 reasons probably make you reconsider. So let's talk about the second problem, and that has to do with the auto exposure of this camera. And this problem is such a weird one because modern cameras don't have this issue anymore, but the Pocket 5 does. So what happens here is that the software in this camera seems to prioritize the bright parts of the image. Normally on almost every other camera, you can either tap on the subject or the area that you want to expose for, like on your iPhone, for example, or Insta360's Ace Pro action camera has something called phase metering, which means that the camera will always prioritize the exposure for your face, which of course, if you're vlogging, is very important. This alone makes the Action 5 unusable to me, but there's more. So what's the next problem, you ask? Well, let me show you. So the Action 5 has horizon balancing, which is a feature that is supposed to let you keep the horizon balanced even if the camera rotates a little bit to the left or right. But as you can see here in this footage, it sometimes takes a few seconds to level the horizon, which shouldn't happen. And the same is true if you are in a moving vehicle like a car or a plane during takeoff, like you can see here. And as soon as you start moving, the entire horizon starts tilting, which again makes this footage unusable. And yes, of course I've tried factory reset, the horizon calibration, and I'm on the latest firmware. But I have also spoken to other creators that don't have this issue. So maybe it depends on the unit. I will definitely contact DJI about it. And maybe it's something that they can fix in a firmware update. And then problem number 4, the final problem, has to do with the DJI mics too. And let me get something out of the way immediately. I love these things and I wish every camera manufacturer would have something like it. But the problem is that if you connect one of these guys to the Action 5 wirelessly, every time you start a recording after like 2 or 3 seconds, you know what? Let me show you. Okay, fun times. We actually had our luggage checked, but it's not just me, you heard it too, right? It feels like the camera takes just a couple of seconds to actually connect to the wireless mic. The thing with this is that it doesn't happen on the Pocket 3. So everything except for the low light performance can definitely be fixed in a future firmware update. But here's what I would say right now. If you don't need the waterproofing or the ruggedness of an action camera, buy another camera. I would say go with something like the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is a better camera in almost every single way. Or wait for Insta360's Ace Pro 2, which I hear might just be 2 weeks away. But if you are going for the DJI Pocket 3, I have a review of it right here.